Hello everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. What a day for Newcastle, a 3-0 win at home against Sheffield United. It was the perfect response after the Southampton game, which seems a million years ago. Newcastle had 3 0-0 draws at St James's in Cup and League games before this game at home, but Newcastle with a 3-0 win. I'm here with Sam, I'm here with Rob. You've just seen him with the live show. If you haven't seen the live show, of course, it'll always be on the YouTube channel. Have a little look. Kyle's done his thoughts, the quick thoughts on NFTV Extra. So a little plug out to Kyle. I've given that a watch. It was a fantastic watch. Give it a watch. It was brilliant. We're here to score the players. As you can see, the title is perfect on Rob's forehead, as you can see. Let's start with Martin Dubravka. Go on, Rob. I'll let you start with Martin Dubravka. Comfortable afternoon for him.
Is this like one of those games where you have the post-it note on the forehead and I have to ask yes or no questions as to what is actually written on the forehead?
Yeah, that could work. What score would you give Martin Dubravka first, Rob?
I'll say 7 out of 10 today. I think today Dubravka, he wasn't very busy. I'd say the first 10 minutes or so was the busiest that he was ever been for compared to the final 80 minutes. But then he didn't make any outstanding saves. It wasn't a typical Dubravka performance, but at the same time, keeping a clean sheet. And in my view, although he didn't have that much to do, a clean sheet is worth at least a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, clean sheet. It's always nice to see clean sheets for goalkeepers. And Martin Dubravka deserves a clean sheet this season. I think he's got 11 now, am I right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, the stat man says I'm right, so I'll take it. Sam, what would you give Javier Manquillo today?
I'll give Manquillo a 7. I thought the wing backs struggled early on. I thought they were struggling to cope with Bulldog in particular, but that's down Rose's side. But clean sheet at home against a good team. I mean, on the other hand, Sheffield United didn't really strike me. I mean, we've seen them twice now since we've resumed. They don't look like a team pushing for Europe at all. They look pretty average. They're looking like a team that's second season syndrome, perhaps in the Premier League, but that's by the by. I thought Manquillo was steady in the second half. He kind of worked better with ASM than he did Ritchie, because I think Ritchie worked better with Rose. So, yeah, solid 7. It was steady Eddie performance on the right-hand side.
Yeah, steady Eddie for Newcastle's number 1 right back at the minute, it seems. I'm going to go and continue with Federico Fernandez. I thought he was rock solid, really, really comfortable. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think what Fernandez gives you this season is just that steadiness. Doesn't really do a lot wrong. Positionally, he knows what a centre-back has to do. He just does the simple stuff for me. And sometimes that's the most effective. You hear that said a few times. And Federico Fernandez, for me, was rock solid. Obviously, Sheffield United didn't have many chances on target. I think Billy Sharp's target in the second half, his header, which he should have scored with, I think was probably Sheffield United's best chance of the whole game. But Fernandez, for me, was pretty good and an impressive performance from Fernandez, and it's an 8 out of 10 for him. Rob, Jamaal Lascelles was his partner. Again, very, very comfortable. What would you give him?
I'll give Lascelles a 7 today. I think there was only one moment that was cause for concern with me for Lascelles, and that was what led up to the red card. Because he gave it away, didn't he, in the final third? I think he was trying to flick it down the line to Manquillo, but he just wasn't there. So in the end, gave it straight away. They knocked the cross in, we cleared it. Joelinton goes up the pitch and gets John Egan sent off. So it turned out to be a blessing, that little moment of concern. And I think today, clean sheet, once again, similar to the other defenders, similar to Dubravka. Wasn't worked strenuously today, but he can only do what's in front of him and what was asked of him. So 7 for me.
7 for Jamaal Lascelles. I was going to call him Javier Lascelles there for a second. Sam, let's continue with Danny Rose. In our private chats that we have, you weren't really keen on Danny Rose at all in the first half. I thought second half he was better. He did improve. Is it a tale of two halves with Danny Rose? And does that reflect on your score, Sam?
It absolutely does reflect my score, which is going to be 7. Second half saved him because I was not happy with him in the first 15, 20 minutes. I was getting ready to stick the boot in, which I didn't want to do because I like the guy and I want him to do well. I love that he's so passionate and speaks out about things off the field. I really like him, but we haven't seen the best of him yet. I think we'd all agree. The first half, I thought he was getting done over by Baldock all too easily, but he gradually grew into the game. He made some sloppy passes as well in that first, but then again, the whole team did in the first 15 minutes. We didn't start the first half well, we didn't end the first half well, but there was some real cracking stuff in the middle. Rose got involved with the second goal, which put the game to bed. And, Newcastle don't do things easy, but once you go 2-0 in front, you kind of breathe a sigh of relief. And Rose was a big part of that. And he finished the game strongly as well. So he's earned a 7, but it could have been a lot worse.
Hopefully he can just improve from that. And obviously, game by game, the fitter you get, hopefully from now at the end of the season, we can see what the real Danny Rose potential. I know 40 and I have disagreed in the past, but I'd love to see Danny Rose just kind of shut him up, because at the minute ASM is going to shut me up in the Miguel Almiron ASM debate, which we'll probably discuss a little bit later. Jonjo Shelvey's next to me, and again I'm going to continue with a 7 out of 10 for Jonjo Shelvey. On the ball, you know what you're going to get with Shelvey. There were so many times where he was making that little run just to kind of help with Joelinton, especially in the first half where Joelinton had the ball and he played it a little bit better. Shelvey was through on goal. I think he won the midfield battle. He looks really, really fit at the minute, and I can't really complain with the performance he put in. For me, Newcastle sit on 38 points. I don't know whether I'd probably play Shelvey on Wednesday, not because he has had a bad game, but I'd like him to give him maybe a week's rest, or maybe play 20 minutes against Villa just to kind of make sure he's right for the Man City game. But I'm really, really pleased with Jonjo Shelvey's performance this afternoon. Rob, his partner in crime was Isaac Hayden. He does all the dirty work, which not many people see. And that's probably why he gets not as many, 9 or 10 out of 10 performances. And the plaudits he gets, yeah, of course. How did you rate him this afternoon?
I'll say 8 today. I think Hayden was pulling the strings. I think along with Shelvey, linking the play, doing a good job in that, making sure that the defence wasn't overworked and exposed, and making sure that the attack weren't like Joelinton and the 3 in front of 3 behind Joelinton. If I can get my words out, making sure that they weren't exposed. They were a good link to have, and I think, like you say, they had the ball a lot today. But when you've got the likes of ASM and Ritchie playing as well as they did, then performances from Shelvey and Hayden seem to have been shaded a bit. But I think Hayden, from his own perspective, should be pleased with an 8 out of 10. And I've just realised you can't really see me now, can you? Because the sun's my room is all of a sudden very bright. It's like I've gone into Heaven's Gate. It's like I can see it. And I know what you're thinking, if only.
I know exactly. Don't worry about technical issues, mate, because I've obviously had a lot of them over the last few weeks.
It's not a technical issue. It's literally just my room is all of a sudden quite white. All of a sudden.
Well, that leads us on perfectly to ASM. Sam, he was switched on today, wasn't he? He was fantastic, and all the lights were on him, all the cameras were on him today. And yes, there was a mistake leading up to the goal. Good finish, but he was a presence, and he just made Sheffield United work with him today, because I thought he was man of the match today.
Oh, he was man of the match by a mile. He was absolutely superb. Some people were a bit worried that playing behind closed doors with no crowd might affect him in a negative sense, but that's dispelled that myth straight away after this.
Yeah.
He was superb from start to finish. He was a threat. He's just a live wire. He's a showman, and there was no crowd to perform to today, but that didn't stop him. Fortunate for the first goal, absolutely. But
what would you give him? Sorry, Sam.
Oh, apologies. 9. Sorry, Lee. I know he'll be cussing me, but he was superb. You've got to gamble, and he gambled, and he was there to tap it home and beat Henderson, who's been one of the goalkeepers of the season at his near post. So he was just absolutely magnificent today. Absolutely superb. Can't praise him high enough. 9 out of 10.
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can praise him high enough. Give him a 10. You say, I can't praise him high enough.
What
and
would
you give him a 9?
Would you say he deserved more than a 9?
Yeah.
I think 9's a fair mark, but I wouldn't argue if it was a 10. I wouldn't argue, but I think 9 was probably a fair mark to say the least. Chelsea have just scored against Villa, so it's 1-1 at Villa Park. Pulisic has just scored for Chelsea.
Good,
so
I don't think we put this to bed yet. I mean, what can ASM? what could ASM have done more to get that 10?
That's a fair question.
What did he not do?
Fair question.
What did he not do? What did he not do? He must have not done something for you if you were going to give him a 9.
The first half could have been improved upon. Surely the first half there was a bit. It was sloppy. We didn't have a real clear-cut chance, and the only real one was Ritchie's stinging shot. The first half was there to be improved upon. I think we needed to start.
First half, he did more take-ons, twice as many than everyone else on the pitch put together.
It's a great debate.
Didn't come to anything.
It's a great debate, but it's Sam's mark. It's a great debate, but we'll go with 9 out of 10.
Shut up.
If it's get your comments in below. I've seen so many comments say 9, say 10. I would have probably gone on the 9 route, but I wouldn't have argued over a 10. It's Newcastle winning games of football. That's the most important thing. I'm gonna continue with Miguel Almiron getting an assist for Joelinton's goal, which we'll touch about very, very shortly. Obviously not as effective as ASM, which 40 if you're listening. I can change my tune ever so slightly, but no, I thought he wasn't as good as ASM, but again, he was a threat. He played in Joelinton through in the first half of that chance, which obviously Joelinton didn't do well with. But I do feel every time that he was on the ball, I feel that Sheffield United were a little bit worried. And again, he did get that assist, and Lee's going to kill me because I haven't put a mark down. I'm going to go 8 out of 10 for Miguel Almiron this afternoon. It's just little teething issues. You need to get the score on straight away, which we'll get in our private chat. Exactly. It's 2-1 Chelsea. My brother's just shouted. Giroud's just scored, so Villa are going down. So, 8 out of 10 for Miguel Almiron. The goal scorer, the second goal scorer for Newcastle was Matt Ritchie. Rob, firstly, what would you give him out of 10? And how effective was he? And how effective was he today to get the nod over Lazaro?
I'd say 9 out of 10 today. I think he was certainly right up there. Really pleased with his performance, and I have to say that is it reasonable to say that he gets an assist for the first goal? Although it's mainly assisted by Ender Stevens, but he still gets the assist. I think that's reasonable. He does a lot of hard work in the process of that, and then not only that, but he adds a second where he absolutely twats the ball into the net. He thumps it like it's a Sunderland fan. He thumps it like it's a corner flag. And the only thing that was missing today from him was kicking a corner flag out the ground. I missed that trademark of his. I've missed it for 100 days. He gets on the score sheet and he doesn't do it. Yes, Ritchie, top class today. Would have been man of the match had it not been for ASM to outplay Sheffield United for 76 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Sam, let's continue with Joelinton. He's finally scored at St James's in the Premier League. His first goal at St James's in the league. Obviously scored in the FA Cup game against Rochdale. But badly needed the goal. Maybe the fact that fans weren't there probably helped him. But is the number 9 getting a 9 or even higher today with his overall performance?
He's not getting a 9, he's getting an 8. But I'm glad I got Joelinton because I thought he did well. I thought he did really well. Obviously, he had the big chance in the first half, which he fluffed. And it'd be very, very lazy and very, very easy just to kick the boot into him for that. Because it was a fantastically timed run. I thought he was going to bury it because he did. It was very similar to the chance he put away at Oxford. But he kind of fluffed it. And I don't think his footing was right. And it just didn't happen for the lad. But I thought his general play was very, very decent, very, very good, very, very solid. He's absolutely done Egan twice to get him sent off. Absolutely done him both times for 2 yellow cards. So he deserves credit for that because that's what's changed the game. That's what's won us the game. And he got his goal, which was fantastic to see. It would have been very, very easy after that chance in the first half for his head to drop, which it may have done if there had been a full stadium crowd in there, but it didn't. So hopefully it can kind of spur him on and kickstart his season. I thought he did very, very well.
It was fantastic from Joelinton. I think that was arguably probably his best performance at St James's Park, which is ironic when there's nobody there to see it. But yeah, an 8 out of 10 for Joelinton. The substitutes, again, they came on about 15 minutes from the end. Was Andy Carroll was the first one that was brought on. For me, I'd probably give him a 6 because he played 15 minutes. I'll mark Andy Carroll. I'm just looking at the other substitutions. It was Bentaleb that came on next as well. Again, I'll give him a 6 just to get the substitutes for, and then we'll talk about Steve Bruce. Fabian Schär, Lazaro, and Yedlin for me are all non-applicable. They came on with about 5 minutes, and Yedlin came on with literally about a minute left, so they'll get non-applicable. I'll let them go for each one. We'll talk about Steve Bruce as well. Steve Bruce for me gets a 10 out of 10, and and I think it's an easy 10 out of 10. And the reason why I say that 3-0 at home, when we haven't played for 3 months against a Sheffield United side who have done exceptionally well this season, I know they had played a couple of games beforehand. I think that it is the perfect performance to come back from. And when I'm going out there, I think Newcastle playing Premier League football next season, so I would be giving Steve Bruce a 10. Anybody disagree?
Yes.
No, not at all. I think. Oh, go on, Sam.
Go on, Sam. Why do you disagree?
There's one tiny thing narking me, and it is tiny, but it's the difference. 10 out of 10 you're saying is flawless, and I don't think he is flawless, because there is a very, very tiny part of me, and it's narked me pretty much all season with him. He leaves substitutions too late. He could have took people off and rested ASM. Look, we've got a game on Wednesday, then we've got the FA Cup. It is going to be, I know it's our first game back for a while, but you've got to be managing your squad. And we've not got a big squad to manage, so it's important to keep everyone fresh. And that's the only thing that narks me, that he left his subs too late. So it's a 9 from me. And I think Jason, I agree with Jason actually. 9 and a bacon butty. I think he'd probably take that himself. Would Mr. Bruce? So
how was the bacon?
It's
did you
very
say?
minor and splitting hairs, but you know, it's not quite perfection for me. So yeah, 9 for Bruce, in my opinion.
Rob, 2 questions. So Lee can put obviously the deciding factor. I've gone 10. Sam's gone 9. Are you going 9 or 10?
I'm going 10.
10. So 10's over. I'm sorry, Sam, it's overruled you. Just a follow-up question on Sam's point about the substitutes, Rob. When the team are down to 10 men, why change it? You've got the advantage of the extra man. Leave it for 5-10 minutes, and if it's still not working, then you can bring on your Gales, your Carrolls, your Mutos, whatever. Do you think, Bruce, in your opinion, Rob, just try to give it a little bit more time just to see how Newcastle could cope against the 10 men, because they got 2 goals more or less instantly after the red card?
Yeah, I think one of the big deciding factors in that decision was the fact that I think we had just edged the better of the play before that red card. And so I think when they go down to 10 men, the game is there for the taking. The ball is in our court. It all depends on whether we hammer it home or not. And I think from the first goal, which came just a few minutes later, that just opened up the whole game, and we absolutely romped home to a comfortable win. I think, though, with Bruce, the rating for this game, the preparation for this game was long before the start of today. You look at our fitness levels today, it's as if we've never been away for 100 days. You look at those fitness levels of those players that started. And I think that was one of the big differences between us and Sheffield United today. It was as if we had never been away. So well done to Bruce for getting those players sorted fitness-wise in the previous few weeks, making sure that they were going to get enough game time in the friendlies before today. So I think that certainly deserves a mention in my view.
Yeah, of course. I think Steve Bruce deserves a lot of praise today. In one word, Sam, is Newcastle safe now? Premier League football next season?
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah.
Lee? Is he going to type away? Is he going to say? Is he nodding? He's nodding. We'll let him have the nod anyway. Yeah, fantastic. Give this video a like, obviously, as well. It's been a brilliant day for Newcastle and Newcastle fans in general. If you can subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV and to Newcastle Fans TV Extra, we've got some fantastic videos coming up along the way. At 6 o'clock, we will have Lee with a Sheffield United fan as well, see how they took their defeat today against Newcastle. And then later on this evening, we will have the final word, which is the main video here at
The
Newcastle
last
fans.
word.
The last word.
Greenwood.
The last
Come
word.
on.
I know. I always get it wrong, and he's gonna tell us off when we finish. The last word. The last word will be later on tonight, where we'll go through everything from start to finish with Newcastle 3, Sheffield United 0. It's just brilliant that football's back and Newcastle winning games at St James's Park. We'll see you again on Wednesday for scoring the players after Newcastle take on Aston Villa, who are still losing 2-1 at Villa Park against Chelsea. So yeah, give the video a big like, comment below if you agree with all our scores today, and we'll see you all very, very soon.